Inside greenhouse planter is one of the most significant sign of Earthship build. We wanted one too, so we counted with it in our Earthship build. Filtering grey water from bathroom, growing edible plants, and reusing water for toilets. Those are very sustainable steps and we could not miss the opportunity to use all of this in our Earthship greenhouse. In this video, I will show you how we built a greenhouse planter and what was the workflow of using it. The location of the planter was under the front glass wall of the house, which was directed south to have the plants as much light as possible. The length of 10 meters was limited by the entrance doors. The width was about 80 centimeters. Depth was 90 to 110 centimeters from the floor, and at the end of the planter, where the water was collected, the depth was 150 centimeters. There were basalt stones around the planter as a boundary that also took some space. We were digging the place for the planter during the construction. The soil is very dense here, so the manual digging was quite difficult. That material was used directly on the clay floor to make the work more effective. After digging the hole, we obliterated the walls and corners to avoid damaging the material on the bottom of the planter. At the same time, we also had to create a slope so that the water at the bottom does not stand anywhere. First, we lined the place with a fabric if there were any sharp edges left, so that the EPDM foil, which was next, was not damaged. Large pebble stones, small pebble stones, sand and soil came next. And we put a wood staff against the release of moisture on top of the soil. At both ends of the planter, there were pipes, one for filling and for the filter, and the other for the pump. We started to plant banana trees, lemongrass, tamarillo and psidium. There were also some herbs. I tried other plants, such as pepino gold, lemon tree, but they did not like it here. The most prospered plants were lemongrass, tamarillo, psidium and banana trees. However, none of these plants managed to bloom or give a harvest, except the herb. I will give a link to the video for Inside Greenhouse Planter Tour so you can see it. We started to install the planter in March 2019 and was in use by the end of March 2020. Before I found this information for the video, I had the impression that we used the planter for years. Well, seemingly deceiving. Now, I will describe what was the workflow we had with using the planter. The bathroom water flowed into the planter at one end at the main door, where was the filter. This filter had to be cleaned once every 14 days. To refine it, the water into the planter went out of the sink, shower, washing machine and sink to wash our hands from the outside. We were keeping eye of the water level in the planter, and when needed, the pump was turned on, which was on the other side of the planter at the bottom in the tube. At this end with the pump, the hole was deeper, as I mentioned. We also had water circulation at our disposal if we were not using the water very often, that it will stand on the planter for a long time and it would start to smell, which would be unpleasant at home. We use non-toxic things, so we were not afraid to drain the water out into the garden and water it. So what made us to remove the planter completely? What problem did we have with it and what was the process of removing? You can find out all of this in the next video.